नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बि यस्सिर व ला तुअस्सिर वत्तमिम बिल खैर आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन. Welcome to the next lesson of Arabic grammar. Recap. Kalima. We all know that kalima is of three types: ism, fi'l and harf. And these three categories of kalima are also called parts of speech, and in Arabic we call them aqsamul kalima, which basically means types of kalima. We know that for correct use of an ism in a noun in a sentence, we will have to be familiar with four aspects of that ism. These are i'rab, jins, adad and wus'a. I'rab we have covered up to some extent. It is important to know that our concept of i'rab is continued to evolve with time. Jins we have covered to a fairly good extent last time, and our next topic is going to be adad. From the adad point of view, in English it's very simple. For example, in English we have singular, and plural. Okay. For one we use singular, and for more than one we use plural. For example, book. And that's one book, and plural, more than one books. Similarly, pen, one pen, and pens, more than one. So singular, plural. In English we can say 7 books, 8 books, 5 books, but generally we tend to say books. However, 2 is quite commonly used compared to 7, 8 or 10. We tend to say 2 books, 2 tables, 2 rooms, 2 men, etc. Now, because 2 is quite commonly used term, and because we know that Arabic is a very concise and compact language, minimum number of words are used for maximum expression. And we have recently looked at an example, and the example was right at the beginning of Quran: Alif Lam Mim Zalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fihi. So La Rayba Fi. So we'll look at it again. La Rayba. So we have only 2 words here. This is harf, la, and this is noun, which is ism. So only 2 words. And if we translate, sometimes you see translation, there is no doubt. By using this translation, we are not really justifying what is intended to be said here by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A reasonably correct translation perhaps will be, let me write, there is Can't write English. Okay. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever. If we use this translation, we are doing some justification to that expression. However, we see the difference here. La rate, short and sweet, concise and compact, and we've got this long sentence here to translate this. So this special construction, this la is of many types, and we will learn with time. And this is one type of la which has been used here in this construction, and this raib has been used raiba, not raibu, not raibi, well, not raibun, not raiban, not raibin, neither al raibu, al raiba, or al raibi. This is specific use of this word here. One day, inshallah, we will look at this grammatically, and it will make perfect sense. It will become clear to you like bright daylight, but not today, because even if I try to explain, it is not going to make any sense at all. But one day, inshallah, we will. So that was an example to show you how compact and concise the language is. So Arabs has devised a separate word for two. English we can easily call that dual, here in the middle. So dual is used for two, and that will be a word in between these, and it will become clear what I mean in Arabic when we made dual from singular nouns. So Arabic terminology is, for singular, wahidun, wahidun, Allahu wahid, so remember from that. For dual, the word is tasniya. So many dots there. It's tasniya. And for plural, it's jam'a, jam'un. So in Arabic, plural starts from 3. For wahid we have one word, for tasniya we have a separate word, and jam'a, plural, is 2 plus, not 1 plus. So in Arabic, plural starts from 3. For wahid we have one word, for tasniya we have a separate word, and jam'a, plural, is 2 plus, not 1 plus. So how are we going to make dual from plural? And that's our today's topic. For singular words, if you're not sure, we can look in the dictionary and we will find a singular word for that particular noun. For example, we say kitabun, one book. Kitabun. That's one book. So the method or the formula to make dual from this is very simple. It's a 2-step process. In the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this tanween and replace it with fataha, single fataha. So we are going to write kitaba. And then we are going to add alif and noon. Alif comes here and noon takes kasra. So from kitabun it becomes kitabani. One book, 2 books. So we don't have to use the word 2. So just kitabani means two books. And that will be its rafa state, raf'un state of rafa. Because we have to remember Arab as well, because Arab is going to go with us all the time. So raf, that's rafa, raf'un. So that state of rafa for dual. What about nasab and jar? Nasab. So for nasab and jar, there is only one word. And again, that will be made from singular, but this time from singular, we are going to write this way. For example, kitabun. So we remove tanween, just like here, give this fatha. And but this time, we're not going to add alif, we're going to add ya and noon. Noon takes kasra and ya takes sukoon. So it becomes kitabaini, kitabani, kitabaini. And it's the same for both nasab and jar. So basically from Arab point of view, dual of book will be kitabani, kitabaini, kitabaini. So very simple formula, there's nothing much in it, simple and straightforward. And this method or process or formula of making dual is same for muzakkar and for muannas asma. So kitab is muzakkar, and we can look at one muannas. For example, room, ghurfatun. Ghurfatun is room. Similarly, what we're going to do is we're going to this time going to open this tha, remove the tanween and give it fatha. So this is tied up tha, ta marbuta. So we're going to open it, make it ta maftuha, ghurfa. That's ta. Ghurfa. And this ta, we're going to remove tanween and give fatha again. Add alif and noon. Alif and noon takes kasra. So ghurfatani, ghurfatun, ghurfatani, two rooms. And that's rafa. And nasab and jar similarly will be ghurfata, ghurfata, and we add ya and noon here. Ghurfataini. So ghurfatani, ghurfataini, ghurfataini. So three states, two forms as far as the Arab is concerned. There's one point of caution here. Let's remove that. There are some words, for example, baytun, used for house. Baytun is house. And if we want to say two houses, we will say similar formula, baytani. Baytani, the sound of ani. And okay, let's take another word, ummatun, nation. That's feminine because of ta marbuta. Ummatun. And from this we're going to make dual. ummatani. So we can see here that when we opened ta, so we opened this ta marbuta, which is tied up ta. When we opened it, so they have both come, maftuha and marbuta, they are looking the same. Baitani, baitani. But this thani does not then mean that this is feminine. In this case, we will have to go to wahid of the word. And if the wahid is muzakkar, then this is muzakkar. And here the wahid is muannas, ummatani is muannas. So just we have to be careful here that we can't say baitani is muannas because of thani sound. We'll go to wahid of that, and wahid is muzakkar, so this is muzakkar. Wahid here is muannas, so dual is muannas as well. Kalima. Kalimatun. And the dual will be kalimatani. Kalimatani. So kalimatani, kalimataini, kalimataini. There is an other word which is khafifun, which means light. Khafifun. Khafifun is muzakkar, and its muannas will be khafifatun. We can learn another rule here, which is that for those nouns which are used as adjectives, sifa, sifa in Arabic, sifatun. So those nouns which are used as adjective, for example, Muslimun, Kafirun, Fajirun, Hasidun, from that we can easily make muannas. What we do is, the last letter of the muzakkar word, we remove tanween and give this fataha, and then add ta, marbuta, tied up ta, and we give that ta tanween. So in this case, khafifun, and the muannas will be khafifatun. Khafifun and khafifatun. Right. Similarly, I have another word here which is opposite of khafifun. It is sakilun, heavy. This is light, light in weight, as in weight, and sakilun will be heavy, as heavy in weight, heavy, sakilun. Sakilun. And similarly its muannas will be, okay, you can't see there because of that shadow. Let's write down here, Sakilun. Sakilan. And muannas will be Sakilatun. Sakilatan. And its dual on the same principle, sakilatani. Sakilatani. We didn't make dual here. Dual here will be khafifatun, khafifatani. Khafifatani. So from khafifatun, khafifatani, from sakilatun, sakilatani. And there is another word which we use, habibun, beloved. Habibun. And muannas will be habibatun. And the dual will be habibatani. Habibatani. Okay, so these duals have been used in a hadith by our Prophet, and let us look at that hadith. I've got that here to save time. So look at here, kalimatani khafifatani alal lisani, sakilatani fil mizani, habibatani ila rahmani. And what are those kalimas? Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahil Azim. So kalimatani khafifatani alal lisani. Two words are light on tongue. Sakilatani fil mizani, heavy in scales. Habibatani ila rahmani, beloved to the merciful. And we are all familiar with this. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahil Azim. And this is the last hadith of Sahih Bukhari. And you will see that it will be easy to memorize now, because we can identify the words, all the duals which has been used here. So it becomes very easy to memorize at the same time. Simple but very useful. So what I'm going to do here is, on horizontal line I'm going to write Rafa, Nasab and Jar, the I'rab. Rafa, Nasab, Jar. And we're going to use one word, Muslim. Muslim means Muslim. Muslimun. Muslimun. To go through this chart. Muslimun. So Muslim is an adjective, as we know. So let's write down three states of Muslim. Will be Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. And its tasniya is going to be, we know, no, Muslimani, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. Muannas Muslimatun, easy from Muslimun, Muslimatun. Muslimatan, مسلمة. And the dual is going to be مسلمتان. مسلمتين. مسلمتين. Okay, so on that side we can say واحد تثنية this is واحد, this is تثنية again. تثنية. And next we can write مذكر مؤنث. So from one word Muslimun, when we used in this chart this word Muslimun, this noun Muslimun, we have made 12 forms of this word Muslimun. This is what is surf. We were talking about surf and nahab. So this is a surf. How the words change is called surf, the sense of surf. And when we looked at hadiths, and when we put these words together to make a meaningful sentence, make a sensible sentence, that's what is called nahab. So this is nahab, the sense of nahab. Putting words together is nahab. So that's the difference between sarf and nahab, and it becomes very prominent when we do conjugation of verbs. Now, a couple of points here, really revision that Musliman, when I wrote Musliman, I have added alif here, so that is the rule. And we said there were two exceptions, and one exception is here, Muslimatan. I didn't add alif here, because when a word ends in tied up tha, we do not add alif in nasr. So that's the revision. As far as the i'rab is concerned, so it becomes clear from here that these haraka is not really i'rab. Yes, in case of singular nouns, we can say min, man, min, that is i'rab. But in the case of dual, although we have kasra here, but this word is in rafa. Because of kasra, we can't say, because there is a kasra here, we can't say that this is jar. And i'rab of this will be, we can say that's the i'rab ani. And in dual, we will say that the i'rab is shown by sound, expressed by sound, which is the sound of ani in dual, which will be rafa, and aini will be nasab and jar. Aini. So ani, aini, that's what the i'rab is in this case. As we said, our concept of i'rab is going to evolve. So, but singular nouns, i'rab is shown in the form of these haraka, and here it is shown by, we can express by sound, and some grammarians say this is i'rab bil haraka and this is i'rab bil harf. So that's another terminology, but we can say i'rab by sound here. So ani, aini, and aini. So we will have to identify the category of the ism and then look at the ism. So if it is singular, then these harka are the markers of i'rab. But when it's dual, haraka do not matter because this whole kind of harf is i'rab here. So I hope it has made, this explanation has made it clear. Now you will be thinking that how do we know in an ayah or in a sentence, because this muslimaini, which one is nasab, which one is jar. So it is very easy because the context will tell us. If we look at previous example which we used, he went to the market, his car broke down, a friend gave him a ride. So that was he here in this rafa, and him in a nasab, and his in jar. So that was easy in this case. But if we replace he with she went to the market, her car broke down, a friend gave her a ride. So that will be she here, and her, and her. So we will know which her is which one. So it's not really difficult to make out that whether noun is being used in nasab or in jar. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.